Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 1. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. Being a Christian, a Christ follower, a major part of our life is to walk in the footsteps of Christ, to have the characteristics of Jesus Christ. We need to keep away from the darkness and the evilness of this world. We don't need to look like the world. We don't need to behave like the world. We don't need to act like the world. We don't need to do what the world does. But we need to be a reflectant of God's light. The decisions we make, the relationships we have, all need to reflect God's light. The friendships, our behavior. Seek God's wisdom, because it is available to help you to make sure that you're making the right decisions in your life. What you watch, what you listen to, where you go. A lot of these things that Christians are doing, people would have never known that you belong to Christ. We say right now, if people around you, co-workers, friends, your associates, your family, if they do not know that you are a Christian and they are shocked at the little slight knowledge that you could be or possibly might be, then you know that your walk with Christ, something's off. Something has got to be off. God says that we are the light of the world. The inside of us is His light shining. That we should be shining so bright that sitting on a hill that everybody should be able to see. So if nobody can see your light burning in you, something's got to be wrong. There's many of people that don't share the gospel. They don't speak of Christ to any and everybody. They think that all they got to do is go to church and go to Sunday school, and they speak only to the people at the church and at the Sunday school about Christ, and that is it. Once they are no longer in the presence of that church, they don't even mention Christ to nobody or anything. You will be spit out. You'll be cast out. You say that ain't so, but I'm going to tell you right now, the parable of the talents speak of this. See, everybody thinks that the parable of the talents referred to money, because back then, talents was called money. There's a lot of people repeating the parable of the talents and referring the talents to actual talents, like God's gift of you talent of you playing football or the piano or an instrument. Far from it. The parable of the talents is talking about Christ's word, sharing the gospel. What have you done with the gospel, with the light that God has put in you? See, that one person who took the talent and hid it in the ground and buried it, then when God came back and asked, what have you done with what I've given you? And he said, I hid it. He says that person was cast out. And whatever reward that was supposed to be given to him from when he had multiplied the gospel was given to others. And he was cast out. You are invited to a wedding. God gives you an apparel to wear. And in the story of the wedding, the parable of the wedding, God casts out the people who was not wearing the wedding garments that was provided for them. you're not shining your lights, if you're not wearing the garment of Christ, you'll be cast out. People want to constantly talk about the lukewarm Christians that will be spat out. You need to be talking about the Christians that don't do anything. They're going to be cast out. No, you don't have to be an evangelist. No, you don't have to be a preacher to share the gospel. But God called us all, every one of us, to share the gospel. He called us all to go to the ends of the earth and to preach his word. The good news that Jesus is Christ, that Jesus is God, that our sins can be forgiven. We just need to come to Christ, be born again. But many people are letting the light go out. Many people are hiding their light. God says, if you have where the light in the candle, where would you put it? Hide it under the bed? Or would you hide it, or would you place it on the wall for all to see? Your light can save others. For this world is darkness. And when you have a light, you can see the traps and the snares that is around you. But if your light shines brighter, then those around you who are not of Christ can be saved. Because of your bright light, they're not falling into the traps and the snares, and they too can come to Christ and have a light of their own. So what are you doing in your walk with Christ? Are you being holy? Because God asks us to be holy because he is holy. Are you living a righteous life? Are you still walking in your flesh, wearing the filthy garments of sin? Are you still walking along this world, looking like the world? Because we are called to be set apart. We are called to be different. And if you have come to Christ, and you think you can still walk in this world, then you're not going to make it. You don't belong to God. You belong to this world. You see, you have a choice to make. Either you serve God or you serve the world. There's two sides and you got to pick. The world or God.